On the eve of early access for Remnant 2, I'm going to share with you some tips I've learned from over 400 hours played in Remnant from the Ashes. I've collected every piece of loot and uncovered every secret, even the rarest ones. So if you're new to the franchise or just want some tips on how to find more gear and uncover secrets, then this video is for you. Also, if you guys like this kind of video, I'm going to be doing more after release with any new tips that I come across, and I'm going to be streaming all of this live on twitch.tv/AbbyHour if you want to discover all the secrets along with us during our co-op playthrough. First up, let's talk about how to open your eyes and mind to find more secrets in Remnant 2. If you didn't know, Remnant from the Ashes had a ton of hidden secrets, and the second game is going to have even more of them. You may stumble upon some secrets, but others are going to be very difficult to see at first pass. Let's take an example from Remnant from the Ashes. In one event dungeon, you come across some alert totems. Destroying all of them without alerting them first gives you one reward. Alerting all of them first, then destroying them gives you a second reward. And then doing a mix of both also gives you a reward. So you can see how one event can reward you in different ways and require multiple playthroughs to earn all the rewards. That leads me to my first tip, which is relevant to secrets and loot. Different actions may result in different rewards, so if you're hunting down all the loot in the game, you may need to replay the same dungeons in adventure mode or in additional playthroughs. Speaking of adventure mode, it will drop on launch, so if you're the type of person that wants to 100% one world before going to another, you could do that as well. Adventure mode allows you to replay the same world with a different tile set each time, and it's also separate from your campaign world, so it's perfect if you're waiting for your friends to hop on to continue your campaign playthrough, or if you want to find more secrets in the same world without having to restart. And speaking of friends, you want to be mine? If you're enjoying this video and want to see more Remnant 2 videos in your feed, consider subscribing and help me hit my goal of 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year. The next tip to finding secrets in Remnant 2 is to exhaust all your dialogue options. It may seem obvious to some people, but as someone that skips through most reading in video games, this is a necessary evil or a delight if you want all the secrets. Exhaust everyone's dialogue options at least once. You may remember Mudtooth from Remnant from the Ashes, one of the vendors on Earth, and how long you had to listen to his stories for the Pocket Watch. Well, he's back in Ward 13 along with many other characters and a bunch of new ones, so I'm sure there's going to be a lot of dialogue to listen to. The next tip is specific to Remnant 2 based on some of the information I've seen in the last couple of days. Keep your eyes peeled for ways in which you can use the contextual jump to get outside the main path. This is a new feature added in Remnant 2 where you can cross gaps using your dodge button near them. Your character goes into like a leap animation that we've seen a few times, and you can get to the other side of gaps. It's used in boss fights and other areas. I would be willing to bet that this mechanic will be used to access at least one secret in Remnant 2. The other thing I noticed was that in Remnant 2 you can interact with quest items, like inspecting a matchbox that opens to reveal a key. This is a pretty obvious way to find secrets, but this wasn't something we had in Remnant from the Ashes. Alright, now we're going to talk more about how to find all that loot. Obviously, the more secrets you uncover, the more loot you're going to acquire, but there are a few tips I have for you to keep in mind as you start Remnant 2. First, this tip is more of a warning to conserve your materials so that you can upgrade that new loot when you get it. We've heard from devs on Reddit that completing the game awards another method for enhancing resource drops and greatly enhances the amount of resources you will have available. So knowing that, I would recommend almost going through your first campaign run fairly linearly to unlock this at the end of the campaign. Then start up a new playthrough or adventure mode to find secrets and collect loot that way. Another tip is to pay attention to each world boss and their mechanics because they will have an alternate kill for a different reward. What does this mean? Well, here's some examples from Remnant from the Ashes. Chopping off their legs, pulling a harpoon out of their back, sneaking past them into a different fighting arena, and killing twin bosses within a few seconds of each other. Obviously, you can only kill them one way each playthrough, but this is something to try if you get the same boss again on a subsequent playthrough. Lastly, in Remnant from the Ashes, each level was set to have 2 dungeons with a mini-boss and dungeon events, and then a dungeon to lead you through to the next level, and so on. I don't know how Remnant 2 is going to be set up because there are way more options this time and the worlds are so expansive, but if you haven't fully discovered the map and removed all of the fog, don't hesitate to use a checkpoint to leave the dungeon or travel to a world stone and finish off the map. This is going to help you uncover those purple items that are just set in the world and uncover a lot of the loot that you may leave behind if you just went straight through to the next area. Also, as you defeat bosses and dungeons earning special materials, make sure to take a trip back to Ward 13 and craft your new items because you're going to have some cool new stuff that's going to help you defeat the next boss, get to the next area, etc. You don't want to just collect all this stuff and then never go back to craft them and check them out. Alright, those are my quick tips on how to find more secrets and get more loot, and here's a bonus combat tip for all the newbies out there. Try not to spam your dodge roll in combat. I see a lot of you guys out there just dodge rolling for your life, but you need to learn that some attacks you can outrun or strafe, and that's going to save your precious stamina, which is even more precious in Remnant 2 than it was in Remnant from the Ashes. Alright, get some rest and say goodbye to your family because Remnant 2 Early Access starts tomorrow.